What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to install a Screamin Eagle 55mm intake on my 2023 Harley Davidson right here, Street Glide Special. I had the points. I was going to get an S&S, but I decided, hey, I got the points. Why not just get this bad boy right here? So, yeah, it looks pretty good. The interior is actually pretty good. It's not all rough like I thought, except like right back in there. And I haven't decided if I'm going to polish that out or not. But until then, let's get started. First things first, let's talk about part numbers. So, this Screamin Eagle high flow 55mm intake manifold, part number is 273-00167. 273-00167. Here, I think it's on there right there. There you go. Anyways, and I'm gonna put in new intake manifold seals as well, and that part number is 273-00087. That's all you need. And the intake manifold comes one for the throttle body right here already, just like most of them do. So, yeah. All right, let's take the tank off and get busy. Well, the first thing we're gonna do is, I'm about to take the tank off. I got the seat off. I'm gonna pull the main fuse on the bike. You always wanna do this when you work on anything. There we go. Now, I'm gonna go and remove the tank. Okay, I'm either gonna remove the horn completely off this bracket right here. It's gonna be 9/16 on mine. It could be different on yours, but let's see. I'll take that one off and see how it slides. Loosen this one up just a little bit. Okay. See if that'll move out of the way. You know what? I think I'm gonna take it all the way out. My old bike, you could do it all the way. Just swing it to the side, but not on this one. Uh-oh. Anyway. So I'm gonna disconnect my horn, pull it out of this little thing right here, and disconnect it. Actually, I'll just leave it to the side. I may get a zip tie real quick. Huh, looks like someone's been on my bike before or something, I guess from the factory, and they missed the zip tie. That's crazy. Anyway, I'll kick that to the side right there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and zip tie this horn up over here so it's out of my way. So I'll just put it over here around this bad boy. I don't like stuff just swinging around on my bike, if you know what I'm saying. Put it around the spark plug wire, it'll be all right. Just as long as it stays out of my way and doesn't scratch a bunch of stuff. There we go. All right, so Amazon, you can order this tool. It's a 1/4 inch ball end and then regular end on that to break these bolts loose. Let me show you these bolts. I already kind of broke them apart, but they're right there. But you can also use a ball 1/4 long ball socket as well and get them right out. And on these, let me make sure my camera is on here right. Let me see. There we go. On these, you can get the angle on them pretty good, but this other tool, sometimes they're so tight that you got to use this to break them off and get them out. These were not bad because this is a newer bike, but yeah, So you just go at this angle, and you don't need to loosen them all the way out on the back because there's a slot that they sit in. So I got them out about that much. That should be good to get my wiggle room in. Let me see if I can show you. See how they're just barely sitting out? Yeah. And these are your knock sensors if you didn't know. But anyway. All right, let's move around to the front and take all the stuff off on that. Next, we're going to take off the throttle body. We're going to use a 5mm socket, ball end, so you can get around the edge right here. You gotta take this off right here, and then pull this tab out right here. Pull that off, put that to the side for now. And let's take off this bad boy. And just loosen them up for a second so it doesn't fall on you, but get the bottom one here. Alrighty. And this one loosened up. There we go, throttle body's off. So now we got the induction module, which has some gas in it. So we're gonna clean that out real quick. Now I'm going to take off the T-map sensor. You pull this little tab out and pull it off. Make sure you don't break this stuff because it's brittle sometimes. You pull out that tab and pull and push in, and it'll come right out just like that. I'm gonna move that out of the way for a second. And then on the front, on the back cylinder, you fuel injector, you gotta push it in from up here and lift up. It's kind of hard to get to, but it's on this side because these oil lines that they decided to put on this Milwaukee 8. And be careful not to wiggle too much. I may have to actually go the other side. Let's try that. 1 second. Actually, I'm gonna use my handy dandy mechanic screwdriver. Let's see. So I'm gonna push in on that tab and lift her off. All right, there you go. That one's off. So I'm gonna go around the other side. And do that on this side. See, you can see it better right here. See, there's that tab right there. So I already started to pull that one off. And that one, I'm gonna move that out of the way. Okay, now it's time to take off the intake manifold / induction module. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna use my 1/4 inch Allen head long ball socket. I'm gonna get up in here on those top ones on the flanges. And I'm gonna break them loose. There we go. And that one will come out. I'm gonna break the other one loose real quick too. Be careful not to mess with that T-map something. Oh, that one came out pretty easy actually. So I'm gonna pull this bolt out since I already got the other one in. Loosened up. And that one's out. And let's do the other one. Okay, that one's out. I always go with the same, or the bolt in the same hole again, but there you go. Got it out. No special tools needed. So next is going to be wiggling this bad boy out. And I heard it's kind of hard on these newer ones because of the fuel rail, but let's see. Let's see here. Well, evidently on these bikes it's so tight in there you got to take these screws out back here to get it out, because it won't drop past the lip. Good to know. My twin cam, I didn't have to do that, but I'm gonna take these out real quick. Easy peasy, that's done. And let's see if we can wiggle it out better now. Man, that space is tight. Jeez. Them flanges don't want to move. All right, let's go around to the other side. Let's see if we can get it out through the other side. All right, let's see. Man, this thing is not being fun to come out. I know that. But we'll get it. Just some more Harley engineering. All right, I'm going to have to drop that flange down, I think, just a little bit. We almost got it here, but you know, that's part of wrenching. Wrenching on bikes. Yep, so those flanges got to move down for it to come out. So you got to kind of angle it down, I guess, like this. Yep, you have to angle it down. Oh, this is tight. Oh my goodness. But she wiggles out. And be careful with this sensor too. Nope, I'm gonna have to pull her out. There we go. Yep, she fits out just right. Damn, this thing is not fun, especially with this sensor right here. I may have to take that sensor off. Goodness. So you got to wiggle it down until it comes out to about right here, and then you can go past that wire and it comes right out like that. There we go. Not too bad. You just got to get it wiggle, 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 but it comes out. Look at that cheap plastic piece of you know what. We about to make this awesome. Okay. So I'm gonna go in here and clean up in here too really well. Get all this stuff off and make me where I have a really clean surface. So we'll do that next. Really shouldn't be a whole lot of buildup on the surface, but if there is, you can get a Scotch-Brite pad and clean it up really good with that, because you don't want any leaks, because that'll make you have a bad day. So I'm just cleaning it out with a rag. I went free rag because I don't want anything going in those holes. So there we go. You clean anything up you need to while you're in there. Hell, you could even clean your chrome right here if you needed to. All right, let's go to the workbench and put this new induction module in together. Alrighty, so now we're gonna take off all the stuff off the old one. So the T-map sensor is a T25. Let's take that off next. We'll transfer it to the new one. Wiggle it back and forth. There is seals under here, so be careful. I always check my seals, make sure they're still good. Looks good to me. Make sure she pops in there good. And just tighten her back up. Don't go crazy tight with this. Just snug. There we go. And the fuel rail is a T30. That's what fits best in there. So we're gonna take this off next. Break those off. And those have no Loctite on them. They suggest to put Loctite on the new ones, which I'm gonna go ahead and do. Why not? I got this gel blue Loctite. Not too much Loctite, just a tad. Okay. Some people put too much Loctite on. No bueno. Okay. So we're going to pull the injectors out. They both pull from the bottom so you can get the seals and pull them just like that. There we go. Check your seals, make sure they're good. And we're going to transfer this bad boy over. And I've cleaned this new intake manifold, make sure it was clean and nothing wrong. So now we're going to push these in. And double check, make sure everything is flush and that those seals did seal. They look good to me. Yep, they're on there. I'm gonna put my bolts in. My Loctite. You don't have to go crazy with these either. Especially if they have the Loctite on them. And there we go. I'll just barely snug them. Snug and snug. Now, I'm going to use new seals. I always use new seals if I can. So I'm going to take these out. Oh, those are pretty tough. Let me get this other screwdriver. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these seals out. I don't care if I mar them or anything because I am putting new ones in. Boy, they were in there. They stuck pretty good. So yeah, see that beveled edge in there? Those go to the outside because you want a flat surface. See how it's beveled like that? You want a flat surface going to the engine. So that sits on there flush. So we'll match it up here. Put it on like that. And get my seals out. I'll wipe all this off too, make sure it's all clean. Make sure there's no burrs or nothing in here for that seal to set good. Just making sure, you never know. So brand new seals, there they go. I'm gonna put these over here so I don't get them mixed up. So I'm gonna put this bad boy in right like this. Beautiful new seal. And I'm gonna put it on the intake manifold like so. And that's sitting out. Okay, it's about like that. Okay, I'll do the same to the next. Clean this, make sure it's all good. Everything looks good to me. Okay, Put my new seal in, get rid of this junk. This is going in the trash. Make sure it's on the beveled edge inside like that. It sits on the outside. We're gonna fit this bad boy in. Make sure it goes in evenly and perfect. Okay, that's good. And then get it back to where it was. Okay, this is done. It's ready to go on the bike. And I'll have the parts linked in the description too. So there you go. Be right back. We'll get it on. So I've wiggled it down and I put these flange holes down for a minute, and that's a better way to get it in. That other one was so tight, and then I'm gonna adjust them back up where they belong. But man, it was pretty tight, and that's why it's hard to get this thing out sometimes, but there we go. Also, I put the back bolts on, so that thing would just sit right in there. So there we go. It's in there. Now I gotta make sure the back screws are on. The bolts, excuse me. Make sure they're sitting in the hole, and they are. Good, good. And I only turned like 1 or 2 threads on those back bolts before I put them on. So there we go. So we're sitting pretty in there. Looks like everything is good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the 2 bolts up front in carefully. So my 1/4 inch. So I'm gonna use my long ball socket and go put these in loosely, because I'm gonna have to adjust for the air cleaner and everything else. Okay, that side's in loosely. I'm gonna put the other side in. And I always put the bolts in the same place they were. Sorry if I'm in the way of the camera, but that's how it is with these working on these bikes, I guess. Make sure you don't cross thread. Make sure it goes in the hole correctly. See, that one doesn't feel right, so I'm backing back out. I'm gonna wiggle it a little bit. Make sure I'm in there right, because this angle is a little bit different. So I'm gonna go ahead and screw it by hand to make sure I'm in the right spot. See, it still don't feel right to me, so it's not in there correctly. There we go. Now it is. So I got them on loosely up front and back. There we go. All right. Now I'm gonna go get my air cleaner plate and put it up and make sure everything lines up. But first, I'm gonna put in the throttle body. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the T-map sensor, which I just did. And I'm gonna get the injectors plugged back in. So I'm doing the back one right here till they snap. Okay. Get the other one. I think the other one's out of the way over here a little bit. Injector connectors. I'm gonna go back around this way and plug that one in. Yep, there it is. So I got all my connectors done. Make sure you double check. There we go. All right, now we're gonna put on the throttle body. Here's the throttle body. I'm gonna put it on with my 5mm. I'm gonna do it by hand. Make sure I don't strip any screws out. So that one started. that one started. And this one started. There we go. Get them snug. Okay, throttle body's on. I'm gonna go ahead and put the, well, actually I'm gonna hand tighten them real quick. You don't need to go crazy on these. There is a torque spec for them, but so many people have said that torque spec is dangerous on this. So hand tight, okay, and tight. There we go, that's done. Now I'm gonna get my connector and put that back on. So it goes in this hole, like that, and this one pushes in through the back. Sometimes these are a pain in the butt to get in. And then your connector goes back in like this, and then you push this plastic tab in. And you're good right there. All right. So I'm gonna go get my air cleaner and make sure my breather bolts line up with it. Make sure everything's lined up. Then I will tighten this down even. The new induction module, because you want it to go down even so everything is not cockeyed and make it leak. Now I'm going to put my air filter cleaner on and my breather bolts, and we're just gonna line it up, make sure everything sits on there copacetic. Make sure these go in. Always want to make sure everything lines up, and it should, but just making sure. I'm gonna run these in, but I'm not gonna do a super torque on them. I'm just using this tool to run them in, that's it. Here we go. I'm not going to torque them down at all, I'm just snugging them up because I'm going to come back with some Loctite anyway. So let's put in these breather bolts, make sure everything lines up. Yeah, use that too. Just snugging them up, like so. This stopped right in time. That's why I like these Milwaukee, man. You can go slow and fast. Okay, that looks good. Looks like it's all lined up. Now I'm gonna go and tighten up my bolts evenly. And I'm gonna use, I'm talking about the flange bolts in here. I'm gonna make sure that they're good and evenly tightened down. So I'm doing this side. So now I'm gonna go to the back and do the opposite corner down there. Make sure that one's tight. Okay, that one is good. So we are lined up. That's good. So here we go. Tightening down. Just snug too. You don't have to go crazy on these bolts. Your next mechanic will thank you. Okay, and I'm gonna go the opposite end and do the other side on the back. And those are good. Okay. Tighten this one down again, and this should be our final tightening. good to go. All right, that pretty much completes it. You just got to put the tank back on and the air cleaner and all the breather bolts, put your Loctite on and torque them to spec, and that's it. Well, got everything buttoned up, set my seat, got the battery back in, got the fuse back in, got the tank on. Let's see if she starts. Well, I lost audio there from revving the bike. My camera was a stationary tripod, so I need to get better cameras for the next video. I hope I helped you out a little bit. I know my elbow was in the way a lot, but I appreciate y'all watching.